man?
Scotty.
And we've got really far away.
We've got a special guest tonight that we'll be speaking with for the first hour, Cody Drummond of PeaceKeeper.org. Hey, Cody.
Hey, Derek. Pleasure to be on with you guys.
Rock on, man. So you got a lot of exciting announcements. Dio, we've got something exciting coming up in the second hour. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got Alejandro calling in from the video. I don't know how many people have seen it or whatnot, but he was the one who was staring down the barrel of the cop's gun, telling him, "I'm not getting on the ground. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, put your damn gun away." And
powerful video. He really connects with that officer. I can't wait to speak with him. So that's exciting.
I felt like I was going through it with him when I watched it.
That's right. But first, we've got Cody Drummond on, and he's behind an exciting app called PeaceKeeper. I love it. I use it. Cody, for this audience who might not be familiar, what is it?
Yeah, so PeaceKeeper is pretty much a company that promotes community-based solutions to emergency response. And we've built an app that allows you to create a network between friends, family, and neighbors. And from there, you can send, receive, and respond to really detailed emergency alerts.
For example, what type of emergency alerts would we see on this?
So on the main screen of the app, there's actually 4 types of emergencies. There's medical, fire, intruder, and abduction. Pretty much anything you'd need to call 911 for immediate emergency response to your home, we tried to include in the app.
Hey, Cody, I got a question for you. What if you don't have any friends and you hate your neighbors?
Well,
man, Dio.
If you don't have any friends,
good burn.
But
you should move to a friendlier place, Dio. Come on, bro.
I totally missed everything you just said.
But you know, I will say that PeaceKeeper is excited to eventually roll out a reputation system that's not happening yet, but it's in the works, and we will have a reputation system where you can call out to people in your area that have some kind of a reputation on the network for response. So even if your friends and family don't like you or you don't like them, you'll still be able to potentially call out to other peacekeepers.
Yeah, you know, becoming a CopBlocker, you lose friends, you know?
Why do you lose friends? Sometimes you gain friends.
Sometimes
if you lose them, you shouldn't have been friends with them in the first place.
You usually gain better ones than you lost, but when you first start out, it causes a lot of people to alienate from you.
What do you mean by that, Dio?
I haven't had that same experience.
Yeah, neither have I.
My father won't talk to me. That's what.
I'm really sorry about that, man. That sucks.
I'm not really. But
well, that is one of the realities about, you know, when you do activism or when you choose to live life differently, that's one of the things that's going to happen. Hey, what's that noise in the background that I'm hearing, by the way? Someone got a fan on?
Hold on.
Yeah, turn that off.
Come on, dude.
Turn that off.
Come on, rookie.
You can't have you flushing toilets and stuff back there. I don't know what that is, but trying to run a show here. So, Cody, back to PeaceKeeper.org. You've got this app. How long has it been out?
You know, the app's been out for a while, and we were kind of calling that like a testing trial period while it was free. We just recently put a price tag on it and re-released it with a lot more stable version. About 2 weeks ago, we released it, I believe, with a price tag at $2.99. We're actually dropping that price tag to 99 cents.
Wow.
Which we're hoping will make it easier for people to do outreach to their neighbors. You know, we're thinking, hey, maybe if you go to your neighbor with a 99-cent app and say this could save your life as opposed to $2.99, it'll help a bit.
Yep, I agree. Every bit counts, and that's going to make it that much more approachable for the average Joe. Well, that's really exciting. What sort of early feedback are you getting?
We're getting a lot of good feedback and interest. You know, we're getting a lot of people talking about how they want to use it and how they think it can help them in their home, and also giving us a lot of ideas on what we can do for future versions, which is really exciting.
So give me an idea how a CopBlocker would use this. Sorry, Dio, I didn't mean to cut you off. We'll hit you next.
Okay. That's okay.
Well, I mean, it's not specifically for a CopBlocker. It's for anyone that wants to feel safe and secure in their own home and possibly be a help for other people, neighbors and friends. It's pretty much for personal security. You know, it wasn't made specifically for any one type of community. It was made for pretty much everyone and anyone, because people just, you know, they want to have someone to depend on. And most people know at this point that 911 isn't very reliable. You're going to be waiting a long time. They're probably not going to show up in time to help you, but your neighbors are right next door. They can get there in time.
That was a good answer, Cody, by the way, if you hate your neighbors and you don't have any friends. I like that you can use it, even though, you know, you might not have such a big circle, but you can still use it anyway.
Right, not yet, but in the future you will be able to.
Right.
So what other questions do you guys have about this app? Have you used it?
I have not had a chance to use it yet.
Well, get on it, Theo.
No, hey, I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm working on it. It's on the list.
You've got time during this show to download it, and we can use it. Once we download it, there are groups that you can join, Cody, right? So we could have like theoretically there could be like a Keen CopBlock group, right?
Well, what we have in the app is 2 layers of protection. So what we've created is a layer that is for like the supreme level of emergency response, which is your neighbors, because they are the closest to you when an emergency goes down. So we call that an ERG, an emergency response group. And PeaceKeeper, you know, we're not just about building an app. We're about pushing a lifestyle, like a training lifestyle, preparedness lifestyle where you are the keeper of your fellow men and women and you look out for each other. And so the ERG is kind of intended to be one tight-knit group that trains together, that role plays together, that meets together, that spends time together. And this feature, which is kind of like a one-to-one system. I usually compare it to Facebook. Alliances are like friends requesting friendships, and they can link up, and ERGs are like groups in Facebook where you can opt into a single group.
I see. I follow. Okay. So there's these 2 different groups. They have different levels of response and responsibility.
You guys, there's a video out also just recently where in an airport where like a guy was, I don't know, he was getting picked on by some jerk who was, I don't know, he might have been drunk or something, but you can just see there's prime example right there in that video that citizens acting together are way faster response time than the police will ever be.
Right, totally. And going back to cop blockers, Derek, you know, I think there are systems out there that cop blockers probably will really want to use. I use myself where you can like tag speed traps and live stream video when you want to record the police. But here's the thing: is those systems, they're going to help to hold the police accountable. But what we're trying to do with PeaceKeeper is create an environment where the police are not necessary, where that type of a system is not necessary. And that's only going to happen when people start to take care of themselves, because protection of your life and your property, it is a basic human necessity. Everybody needs it. And right now, the police and the public emergency services are kind of the only game in town.
Yeah, you know, you're right. The world is only going to change when we change ourselves. So we got to talk about personal responsibility and what role we have in doing things differently. It sounds like we got a caller coming up. We'll be taking that call, plus your calls. Dial in 413-418-COPS. Nice. You can also send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio. You're listening live at LRN.FM this October 29th, 2014.
Do you drink coffee?
Hey, caller.
Coffee you had
Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Weston, Florida, right outside Fort Lauderdale.
Weston, Florida, outside Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so, all right, great. Thank you. Will you, your name?
Jason.
Jason. All right, thank you, Jason. Can you hold, please? And we'll be coming back in 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, terrific. Thank you.
You're so polite, Derek.
Thank you.
Just so you know, I can't hear the
No,
call.
thank
So I'm
you.
probably just gonna mute and listen through the computer.
Yeah. I have not figured out what that is about. I wonder.
It's okay. It's okay.
I wonder
If
if
that's
there's
the way it
some
has
way-
to be, that's the way it
It
has to be.
doesn't. It doesn't
it's
have
not-
to be that way. Maybe I can fix that.
I mean, it's just
Can't you
not,
download the other app? Do you?
Nah, it's my bad. Because Cody probably can't hear him either, right? Cody, you didn't hear any of that, what that guy was saying, right?
Not the caller, no.
Yeah. So I was
Okay.
I was talking to dead air to them. So I
They're
gotta.
just like, what's he on? What's going on? I don't understand
Yeah.
it.
No. So I'll figure out how to push the sound through to them too. Because I got to do that without getting an echo. So let's figure out how to do that. Anyway, how's everyone doing? How's everyone holding up tonight?
Good.
Good. We didn't get much time to
Marvelous.
check in. What?
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, it's 2 minutes after. Damn it! I
Yep.
guess I should go back downstairs.
Boom, go live. Oh, here we got another.
Well, and there you have it.
Oh.
Another call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, too, so that when we're on the air and stuff like that, don't worry about apologizing to me for cutting me off. You can go first every time. It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That's sweet. Check. 1 2 1 2. Am I louder? Am I softer? Check. Oh, I got this
I got
audio
a lot of
adjustment.
static and feedback and shit.
You get static and feedback right now?
Yeah.
All
There
right,
you go.
I'm turning
Now
it
you're
down.
good.
Turn it down. Check. 1 2 1 2. How's that?
You go higher.
Check. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Good right there.
All right, thank you.
One notch lower.
Boop.
There you go.
All right.
Good.
Cool. I'm getting a little bit of an echo too. Who's that? Someone got open speakers?
I'm just using my phone. Is that it?
Oh yeah, that's probably it. So you got headphones or
Earbuds.
something?
Yeah,
Earbuds?
earbuds. Yep. Give me a second.
Pop those in.
Yep.
Although they probably won't be much use in the next segment if this caller lasts
Yeah.
the whole segment. But anyway, we
Like
need
I
to get
said,
rid of the
I'll
echo
listen
anyway.
to it through the
Yeah.
I'll listen to it through the computer and just mute my mic.
Rad,
Ta-da.
dad. What else?
I'll have like a 7-second delay when the caller gets done. So, I'll have like 7
I
seconds
forget-
before I'll know to come back
forget.
on.
I keep forgetting that I have a delay with you guys.
See if we can all
See
hear
how
each
it
other.
goes.
Give it a listen. Hey, caller from the 954 area code, Jason, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
And
I can hear him now.
Dio, you can hear him as well.
Yep.
Very good. Then we are patched through. Thank
didn't
you.
hear-
Thank you,
I couldn't
gentlemen.
hear him.
You cannot hear him now, Scott.
No, what the hell's going on?
That's problems. Well, we got some of our hosts can hear you and some cannot. Scott, sorry,
Damn.
you're left out on this one.
Whatever.
We're coming back in 5 seconds.
I need to hear him.
All right. Hang
I'm
tight.
muted.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is CopBlock Radio. Welcome back. You're listening live at LRN.FM this Wednesday, October 29th, 2014. It's 10:20 p.m. here in Keene in the Shire from whence we are broadcasting. We're joined live by Cody Drummond of PeaceKeeper.org, Dio of Ohio CopBlock, and Scott down in PA. And we've got a caller, Jason, from, was it Fort Lauderdale, Florida?
Yeah, it's close enough.
How you doing tonight, Jason?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hey, it's interesting. This is the first time I've actually listened to LRN radio, man. I like your stuff and CopBlock and all that, and I share all your stuff. But I'm an over-the-road truck driver,
Cool.
and I've thought about this. When I have a problem out on the road, I mean, I don't really, but if I have a problem out on the road, I don't call cops. And then this guy comes on with this PeaceKeeper. You know how much that would help people like me?
Amen. What would you use
I
it
think
for?
it's just a great thing that,
Can you tell me, Jason?
I don't call the cops. If I got a problem out on the road, I don't call the cops because, I could be killed. You know that.
So what would you do? What would you use the PeaceKeeper app for, Jason?
Well, if I had some problems, I would go on it. From what I understand how it works, there's people in the area where you're at. Is that correct?
Is that correct, Cody?
So currently the app is built for your household, and it's going to call responders to your home. But the future of PeaceKeeper is a system that does call responders to your location.
Yeah, so I think it's part of the broader view of the project.
That's where it's going.
Yeah, but it's probably not there quite yet, Jason. But I think that's the philosophy of personal responsibility and looking out for each other rather than depending on the police. I appreciate your thoughts tonight. You got any other thoughts you want to share with the audience and your love for CopBlock?
No, just what he said. I mean, that absolutely. I think we need to stand up and take responsibility for ourselves. You know what I mean? And things we do. And just like if this thing's going to help me, if I have problems, and I hope they get it going pretty soon. Because there's a lot of truck drivers. We're not allowed to carry guns. We drive over the road. So and criminals, badge criminals, know that shit too. So.
And they go to some of the worst neighborhoods too. They send the truckers to some of the worst neighborhoods, and they can't protect themselves in any way.
Is there a way to defend yourself? Is there a way to defend yourself if you're not able to carry a gun?
Maybe with a tire iron, but that's all you're allowed to have in a truck.
It depends on where. You can. They're trying to change the laws. We all know about laws, but they're trying to change the laws so that truck drivers can carry guns because this is our home. So, I want to protect my home. I should be able to have a gun in it, just like if I owned a piece of property. But they don't have the laws to where you can carry the gun across state lines, to certain state lines,
I hear you. So I appreciate your thoughts tonight. I hope you call in again another time, Jason. Thank you very much.
Thanks, and I appreciate all you guys do, man.
Cheers. All right. Well, Cody, he shared some vision of PeaceKeeper future where he would be able to use the app as a truck driver. It's not quite there yet, but the philosophy is there. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, it sounds like he advocates personal responsibility. He repeated several times he doesn't rely on the police. That's encouraging. Is that a typical response, would you say, when you introduce folks to this app? Most people, is it a click for them like that?
Not necessarily. Some people get that element of it. Some people understand that relying on the government for your protection can be dangerous and can lead to not only getting yourself hurt, but it can also lead to more fundamental problems as far as society goes. But a lot of people just are interested for just the basic reason that if they're at their home and one of these emergencies goes down, they get the fact that the reality of it is that if they send an alert, it makes them feel a lot better to know that there's someone close by that can actually help them out, that they won't be having to deal with that alone.
Yeah. What type of real world examples? I mean, I guess these happen every day. You read about them in the news. They're not always using the app, though. I imagine with this app, we would be able to see a lot more stories of people looking out for each other, neighbor saves neighbor type stories.
Right. And I'm looking forward to, the app actually being utilized in emergencies. As far as real world stories, I don't really like laying out specific scenarios, because it's like, is it really going to go down that way? Who knows? I mean, I could foresee the app being used when someone has a heart attack, when someone breaks a leg, when someone breaks a neck, when someone drowns in a swimming pool, if there's a fire, if there's an intruder in your home or someone trying to break into your home. If your kid is abducted out front, you can call out to responders and get people patrolling before the police ever could. So I guess there's a lot of scenarios that I could foresee in my mind, but it's like we still have a pretty small network. We need to get more people on the network and utilizing the system. We need to get more people trained so that we can actually have real world examples for this.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Sorry,
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you what. if there's anybody in my neighborhood that'll start a group, it's me. So, I'd be willing to try to push it in my neighborhood, and I'll give you the real world examples of how it works.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I'd love to see more activists using this. I know there's a group of us here in Keene who have a Peacekeeper group. Fortunately, we haven't had need for it. In the past few weeks that I've been here, we haven't had, that the app's been out. We haven't had cause to alert each other about any sort of intruder or abduction or fire. And I'd like it to stay that way, but it's good to always be prepared.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Peacekeepers. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say peacekeepers, a little bit like insurance, because they are major medical emergencies that we have on the app. And, insurance, you're not really going to use it very often, but when you need it, you need it. So you like to have it. And it's the same with Peacekeeper. These major emergencies are pretty rare in most areas. There's some areas where intrusions and break-ins are very common. But yeah.
Tell me more about how you're building the community, the Peacekeeper community, and what sort of what that culture looks like.
Yeah. So, when we started Peacekeeper, we wanted to build more than just an app. We knew that the technology of the app would be very easily duplicated, and other people would come into the space with the same type of system. And we knew right off the bat that we wanted more than that. We wanted a movement and a cause and a real community that had kind of a common goals and common desires. So, we established some objectives on our mission statement. We wanted to offer protection, independence, and benevolence. And the community is, pretty much the people in the community are people that support those ideas, and so we're reaching out to people through social networking. We're reaching out to people through phone conversations, hands-on meetings. A lot of stuff is virtual.
Hold that thought. We're speaking with Cody Drummond. We'll take your calls. This is CopBlock Radio. Excellent, man. Awesome. Wow, what a great match. CopBlock and Peacekeeper, both decentralized organizations, focus on people looking out for each other. This is great. It's great. Well, we got a 4-minute break.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, that's right. Take a breath. Do whatever you got to do. I'm going to grab a brownie, and I'll catch you guys soon.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like I said. I got in my neighborhood. Plus, when you're talking about with the, the medical emergencies too, I have a whole. There's a whole bunch of old people here in my neighborhood, and they're all just now starting to get the smartphone thing. So, it might work out to where I could actually get it started between where it doesn't necessarily have to be a CopBlock thing, but be just my neighborhood thing. I don't really hate my neighbors. I was just trying to play devil's advocate there for a minute.
Yeah.
No, it's a great question, because we've heard that so much. Is so many people say, I don't know my neighbors, or I don't get along with them. And I just moved into a new neighborhood, and so I've already met a few neighbors that I just, that guy's not very cool. So, I know how that can go. But
yeah, we got him here too. But for the most part, I get along with most of my people.
Nice.
Hey, Cody, sorry to interrupt. Did you want to jump in on video? You're welcome to do that. Another question is about, sorry if you couldn't hear the
I lost you there.
The LRN studio was not able to hear the caller when I had him on, how I switched over his audio. Well, I switched over the audio during the middle of his call because they couldn't hear him. He wasn't going out over the airs.
Yeah, somebody messaged me that as well.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I fixed it though.
That's all right.
Yeah, and anyone who can is welcome to join me on video. I think my proposed solution for hearing the callers is to move that over to another computer and see if I can get that working instead of using the one I'm on. All right, but that's the behind the scenes. Sorry to interrupt you, but I needed to get that out while we're on break.
That's
all
cool.
Right.
Sorry, Dio. So I was just going to let you know that we are launching a campaign like tomorrow, we're calling it Peacekeeper Foundations.
Mhm.
And the whole purpose of the campaign is getting a handful of people to kind of work on the outreach together so that we can figure out what works best, what makes it easiest to reach out to the neighbors and get them on the system, and start having meetings together every once in a while, and maybe even taking a training class together.
Mhm.
So if that's something you're interested in, shoot me an email and I'll send you the info on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's as it would apply to, you know, that type of situation. Like I said, I don't have that situation in my circles. I'm sure I can get people to, even if it's just cop blockers. I got over 10,000 cop blockers here in fucking Ohio. So, you know,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, between all the pages that I've started with all the major cities and everything like that, there's over 10,000 likes in there. So there's, I definitely have a small group of people like the admins that I know I can trust with it, with my own information and stuff like that. So, you know, if nothing else, that I could do that for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cause I know Pete talks very highly of the app and everything like that. So, you know, basically anything that Pete endorses, I'm all behind too, pretty much.
While our satellite channel
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you there. Pete's like such an awesome guy, and
with the chip in on the right side of the
he's,
page.
and from the beginning, he's been
Coming back,
super
guys.
helpful.
CopBlock Radio. You're listening live. We can take your calls, 413-418-COPS, or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio. It will be accepted, and then we will put you on the air. Just send a message over to me, Derek J. You can also tweet at me, at Derek J. M.E. I want to hear from you. So we're speaking with Cody Drummond of PeaceKeeper.org. And I was just saying as we left off, Cody, PeaceKeeper and CopBlock are a match made in heaven because they're both decentralized projects, ideas, basically, people united around one goal, which is looking out for each other, basically, right?
Well, yeah, I think CopBlock's specific mission is police accountability. Correct statements.
Yeah.
They are a little different, but I think we do both have very common goals and very common intentions, and there is a ton of crossover with what PeaceKeeper is doing and what CopBlock is doing.
Right on. So you started talking a little bit about these training programs, and I want to know more about that. Can you tell us what training would involve?
You know, I can't really say anything definitely about that right now. We do have things in the works, and I'll probably be able to make a pretty neat announcement here pretty soon. I will say that we are looking at partnerships with major training outfits to offer training to peacekeepers pretty much everywhere and anywhere.
Wow, that would be really cool to get some sort of certification or something, some like accreditation, some verification that you have gone through something, you've learned something, you have some knowledge or some skill level that people can respect and look to a third party for accountability on that.
Exactly. You know, with PeaceKeeper, we have what we call our 4 pillars, which is training, the tribe, the trust, and the tools. And so training is going to be a very big part of PeaceKeeper. And we want to get it kicked off here as soon as we can. It's just a matter of making the right partnerships and getting in with the right people that can really deliver the best training to our users.
Right on.
Hey, Cody, question real quick. I think it was like September of 2013, whenever we had
You guys still there?
Yes. Are you not able to hear
Is it not picking me
Scott
up?
asking these questions?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we're
Well, then
having
I'll have.
problems.
I apologize for that. It was
Yeah, it's all
probably one of the things that happened when I was switching over the callers. But
I was wondering why I couldn't hear Scott.
that's okay. We'll get Scott back in the next segment. We'll bring him. We'll
Nice.
bring it home with Scott. But Dio is still on the line with us, correct? Nope. It's just you and me here, Cody. We don't know What happened to our other co-host?
No, I'm here.
Sometimes we
I'm
drop
here.
them.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, man. Well, welcome. And I want to know about how you plan to use the PeaceKeeper app in Ohio. One of the ways I've recommended using the app is for abduction. You don't have a specific police tab or button at the moment, do you?
No, there probably won't be a police button in the future, but there will be an attacker and a threat button.
Okay, so this would probably
Threat
be
would
more
follow. Yeah.
closely categorized as threat or attacker than it's than someone breaking into the home, a break-in of some kind.
Right. The idea is that when you leave your home, you're not going to have a need for the intruder button. You're not going to have a need for the fire button. Sorry.
Right.
So
You
we
may.
replace those
You
with
may.
threat
What
and
if you're in your
attacker.
car and it catches on fire?
That is true. But as far as calling response to that, I don't know how practical it is. So we'll probably replace those buttons with threat and attacker, maybe, but it's not really finalized yet. But the idea is to have a button where if you're straight up being attacked, like if you're in a road rage incident and someone's banging on your window, you hit that attacker button. If you feel like you're under threat, you can use the threat button.
So I want to talk more about community building because while I live in one of the greatest activist communities in the world, Keene, New Hampshire, I'm still not able to convince everyone to download.
Lost you there.
Oh no! All right. Well,
Gotcha now.
I got okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm saying it's not always possible to convince everyone to use an app, even if it's good for them. So how can I work on building my community here in Keene and reach out to people who haven't yet heard of the app? Is there a forum?
I was actually just telling Dio that we're kicking off. There is a form on the website. There's a trifold on the resources page, and that's at peacekeeper.org. And that's pretty good for doing outreach. It kind of lays out the response time that the police have, and it kind of shows you how nice it would be to have people nearby that could help you in an emergency and actually save your life. Now, we are kicking off a campaign called Foundations, where we're going to be working together with 50 or so people to figure out, the best methods and tactics for doing the kind of outreach that you're talking about. Because, PeaceKeeper is still very new, and we don't have it all figured out yet. But we want to get it figured out yet, and we want to do that with the community. So the idea is to have some milestones that we go through and then come together after we hit those milestones and discuss what worked and what didn't work. And then we can have something to really give to the broader community to utilize.
So do you recommend people hand out these trifolds in their communities?
Absolutely.
Cool. Seems like they're easy enough. You've got them on their website at peacekeeper.org/resources. I'm sharing them on the screen now for anyone watching at home, that you've got an easy to read trifold, talks about the objectives and pillars of the PeaceKeeper, community, I guess you would call it.
Right. Organization,
the disorganization, because it's not really centralized, is it?
Well, the app allows for decentralized networks. So your networks are not centralized in any way, and you can actually completely ignore the agenda of the organization, because PeaceKeeper is a company. It's me and a team of people coming up with these ideas and kind of trying to figure out what the best updates will be in the future and what kind of partners we need to get in with. So, we are a company, and we did lay out the objectives and pillars, but the actual groups are very decentralized.
Excellent. Dio?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like I said, I'm going to try to get it to work in my neighborhood if I can. There's a lot of older people in my neighborhood, and they're starting to get familiar with cell phone, smartphone use and stuff like that. So, it especially with the the medical emergency and stuff like that would be very helpful in this neighborhood for people like this. And there's, especially, I mean, in Parma here in Ohio, there's the biggest crimes are burglaries and thefts and stuff like that. So intruders, things like that'll be that stuff could be useful, because that's what happens around here. There's no like other crimes around here. It's all just you read the police blotter and it's burglary, theft, burglary, theft, burglary, theft. So it obviously there's houses being broken into in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So it's it would be, I think it would be helpful for just for a never mind a CopBlock application, but just for my neighborhood app, due to the fact of the median age of people around here.
Cody, I noticed that the app asks for permission to use the phone's camera. I know there are going to be some cop blockers who are a little concerned about the permissions that are required for this app. What sort of spying is PeaceKeeper going to be able to do on the users of this app, or what sort of spying is the NSA going to inadvertently be able to do because these things are open? We've got these questions and more, plus your calls, 413-418-COPS. We'll be right back. This is CopBlock Radio. Hey guys, sorry, I must have the wires all screwed up somehow, because you, Cody, were not able to hear the outro music, correct?
If freedom lovers had secured a 20% voting block and can veto most bad
Cody,
bills,
do you hear the
would you move?
Ads right now?
Well, the time has come to sign.
I can hear your voice right now,
but not ads.
These things have happened.
No,
ads are all on echo.
You can join us and help.
Are they echoing for you?
Big time.
No.
And I can hear myself, which I never do.
All right, I think I. Let me see if I figure this out.
Removes gravitational pull.
Everything's all effed up.
Feces and urine of the ocean
Cross-mogenated.
Okay. Now, right now, Cody and Dio, you can hear ads, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Scott, what are you hearing at the moment?
Not echoing anymore.
You're not hearing an echo. Are you hearing the ads?
I can't hear the ads.
Okay, I've
But I
muted.
can usually control the ads myself. Like whenever you mute the ads, I can still hear them unless I change it.
Okay.
But no, I turned the.
I turned them off as well. So, Scott, are you able to hear Dio? Dio,
can't hear anybody.
say something.
I can hear Scott, but I can also hear my own self too. So
You hear yourself back?
yes,
I don't.
like an echo.
All right. I'll try and fix the echo. I don't know how this gets.
The echo's good.
Yeah, your echo is good, Scott, but there's an echo for Dio. You guys are on different lines. It's funny. It's funny, all these different connections. Like you try and use, like, ideally I would have a different computer for every voice that's coming through. But like, I combine voices and computers and stuff, and eventually the lines get crossed.
I don't know. That's stuff that's way beyond me, Derek. Way.
It's not that crazy. Let's go into Skype preferences.
I think that echo is good. Yeah, that echo seems to be gone for me now too.
Your echo is gone, Dio?
Yes, sir.
Cody, are you hearing an echo?
No.
Excellent.
I can't hear
Then
either
we
one
are.
of them.
You can't hear what, Scott?
I can't hear either one of them.
You can't hear Dio or Cody?
No.
I can hear Scott.
And,
Wow, so you guys. Okay, so Cody and Dio can hear you, Scott.
but I
But
can't hear
you
I can
can't
hear
hear
you,
them.
Derek. That's it.
You can only hear me. Let's
Derek,
figure
we
this out.
fucking cups and the strings together here, or what?
Yeah, we gotta figure this out. Hey, give it another shot. Scott, do you hear Dio or
Hey.
no?
No.
Nope.
Nothing.
Dang. All right. What? You were just hearing him a second ago.
I could hear him whenever we were going to break, and then it just stopped.
What is going on? Options, and they can hear you. Man, this
Oh, they
is
can
so
hear
nuts.
me?
Yeah, they can hear you. This is so nuts. I'm freaking out. got no other options. What did I do
We
wrong?
need an engineer.
I need something.
Your volume coming in is perfect still. LRN's down, but I can still hear it in the background.
Yeah. We're coming back in 20 seconds. I don't know what to do. Who can hear each other?
I can hear you. And
Okay, good,
can
good.
hear each other.
All right.
Cody and Derek
All right.
and Scott.
All right. Scott, so you can jump in on this one.
I can't hear anybody.
I know. Just pretend.
You love
Here we go.
Make sure you favorite the LRN.
We're gonna need you to
Twitter
pretend.
account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
CopBlock Radio, we are live. 413-418-COPS. You have a question for Cody Drummond, a question about PeaceKeeper. And we were asking before we left off on the break about the permissions needed for this app and what concerns that might give users. So Cody, should we be concerned about this app wants to use your camera, microphone, and media?
No, so PeaceKeeper has no interest in spying on anybody. What that is when you set up a profile on your PeaceKeeper account, in order to take a picture of yourself in the app or pick one of your images from the gallery, the app needs to access those features of your phone.
Oh, I see. I
Kind of
follow.
like it's kind of like having your GPS have to use your location services in order to be able to.
Right.
Give
If you
your-
don't have, right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you can't add a picture to your profile, and then people can't see what you look like on the network.
Yeah.
And what is the PeaceKeeper tribe? I know you described there's a difference between the tribe and the emergency response team. What is the difference between those?
Well, so pretty much the Peacekeeper tribe is just another word for the Peacekeeper community. Now,
Oh,
there is
geez,
a
now he's going to
member.
upset the Native Americans.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I was reading a little bit about Native Americans the other day, and it's fascinating. Their whole system of I guess governance is so much different than the Western system. It seems to me that in a lot of Native cultures, it was extremely democratic, and people have the idea that like the chief gave the orders and everyone else followed, but that actually seems to not be exactly how it worked.
No.
With a lot of Indian tribes.
Yeah, the entire tribe takes part in like nurturing children and stuff like that. It's not. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
And the important decisions. And the chief was actually the word chief was synonymous with orator because they were the best speaker.
Mm.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, he's right.
I wonder why. That was.
So
because it worked.
With the Peacekeeper tribe is just another word for the Peacekeeper community. It does include people using this system and responding. It's anyone that really gets involved with what we're doing on a fundamental level.
Am I part of the tribe?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool. All right, nice. Just because I downloaded the app. So anyone who downloads the app is part of the tribe?
I would say if you're interested in being a keeper of your fellow man, then you are a part of the tribe. Now, we do have a membership system where you can kind of buy into kind of like a more personal relationship with PeaceKeeper. We're going to have communities built out for that.
Cool.
But yeah, it's like we call it the greater PeaceKeeper tribe.
Is that what I'm looking at here on the website? I see Defender, Protector, Guardian, Elite. There are plans I can pay in Bitcoin.
Yes.
Nice.
That is the membership tiered system. And, it's if you believe in what we're doing on a more fundamental level, we ask that you go there and support us so that we can help move the system forward. And there's some cool perks you can get with that. You can get T-shirts, you get access to special newsletters, and a few other things. The system's still being built out, and we're going to be adding more stuff shortly here.
Okay, excellent. Well, anything else that you want to add about PeaceKeeper that you want to make sure that people know? that if maybe they're downloading the app or they're trying to pitch it to their friends, they're saying, look, it's 99 cents. We can help each other out. Like, what's the biggest seller of this app?
The biggest seller is that it really can save your life in a major emergency when the police don't show up on time. Your neighbor can, your friends and family may be able to. So that to me is the biggest deal, especially for people with families, children, wives. This app can save a house from burning down if you use it right. It can save a person's life. So that to me is where it's at.
Absolutely agree. Want to save a person's life. That's invaluable. So Scott is also with us in PA. We were having some audio issues before, but Scott, you had a question you wanted to ask Cody. Go ahead with that.
I was just going to point out how much I've seen the growth, because we talked to him in September of 13, I believe. And I'm just looking at the map here.
All
and
right.
I just can't believe how much it's grown, man.
Yeah, the map has really grown a lot. Can you speak to that, Cody?
Derek, can you repeat that question for me?
Yes, the map has really grown a lot. Can you speak to the amount that the map has grown on the PeaceKeeper website?
Yeah, the network's definitely growing. It was growing a lot more when the app was free. And we kind of like that, which is another reason why we dropped the price over the past few weeks. You know, it's also grown a little as well. More people are opting in on the network. We have users in all 50 states and around 20 countries. Not just in the US, people are getting excited about this, in China, and there's some people in Japan, there's some people in the Mideast. So the network is growing, and it's going to grow a lot more once we really ramp up our marketing here.
And what are your plans for unrolling this? I see it's already available on Google Play and the App Store. So, what's next after that? Now that it's available on these platforms.
And trying to refine our systems and trying to refine the systems and features, and we got a press release going out tomorrow. We're trying to work with a lot of bloggers. So if you write and you're a blogger and you're interested in working with us, send me an email at cody@peacekeeper.org. Let us know. We're trying to partner with a lot of bigger pages so that we can get a lot more people on board.
Well, you've got a terrific video at your website, peacekeeper.org. I'm going to share a clip from it here for the end of the segment. Take a listen. This is Cody Drummond at peacekeeper.org.
One thing I can say to that is that training is a pivotal part of PeaceKeeper, which is why we've established tribes and groups. We're really pushing the community to get the training that they need to be able to actually assess these situations. That's what's really going to make what we're doing successful.
Chris Lehman of Facebook asks, when I activate an alert, how will my emergency response group be able to communicate with each other?
Yeah, so there is a built-in messaging service within the app. After an alert is sent out, you can open up the alert screen and chat back and forth. There's also an on it button feature. You can hit the on it button, and it will notify everyone else in the network that you are responding to the emergency.
All right, Tonya Byram of Facebook asks, is there a Windows Phone app?
At the moment, there is no Windows Phone app. We're waiting to see how the Windows platform develops and if the market starts to grow and how much demand there actually is for a PeaceKeeper app in the Windows community. So if you have a Windows Phone and you want an app, let us know, and that'll help possibly bring that along a lot faster.
Nicole Vermillion at Facebook asks, what's the difference between a group and an alliance?
It's kind of similar to the way, and you can post messages that are sent out to everyone within that group. The alliance is more like a Facebook friendship. It's one-to-one. A group is one-to-many.
All right, so Alan Demarest of Facebook asks, will we be able to call or respond to peacekeepers nearby if away from our homes and neighborhoods? And he also has two other questions after that.
Currently, PeaceKeeper is built for your household. It calls responders to your home. We thought that that would be a great starting point, a great way for people to get their feet wet in actual emergency response. Once the network grows, we are definitely interested in taking the system outside of your household.
Might there be a way to replace the 911 calling systems so that landlines or non-Peacekeeper members can use the services?
You know, there's not really any crossover between an actual landline and the Peacekeeper service because there's no interface that could allow those two to adapt that I know of. So it doesn't sound very practical. However, we are working on ways to make Peacekeeper much easier to use. We got things such as the Peace keys that we're looking into and the dimple buttons, just ways for people who are not used to smartphone technology to have easy access.
Okay, his third follow-up is there a real solid date for the coming Android app? Like, really?
And of course, the Android app
It's really
is
hard to put a
out,
solid
so
date on it.
you can download it now.
Developers are working very hard.
This is CopBlock Radio. When we return, we're going to hear from another special guest who bravely stood up to the police on video. We'll share that video and take your calls. 413-418-COPS. I want to thank Cody Drummond of PeaceKeeper.org. Go out, get the app. Android, iPhone. It exists on both platforms. You're listening to
Cody.
CopBlock Radio. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Cody.
Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we
Wow.
strive to advance the
I don't know who can hear me,
daily.
but sorry about the audio issues. I do not understand what is really happening, but I was having the program director of LRN telling me, oh, I can't hear Cody, I can't hear Scott, I'm switching over the channels.
Dude,
like,
I heard like
I can't hear Scott right now either. I can hear you, Derek, but that's it.
Oh my
And I was
God.
able to hear Cody before.
And he's like, Scott is echoing, and I don't know what's going on. So we got the long break. We got 7.5 minutes to figure out what the hell is going on. I want to thank Cody, and I'm going to drop you off, and then we're going to pick up this call from this other guy, and hopefully we'll get everyone hearing each other by this time. I really apologize for the confusion, Cody. Thanks for sticking with us. I don't even know if you can hear me.
All right,
I think he may have hung up when we said goodbye before.
Rock on.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're echoing. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to disconnect from you, Dio. Sorry. All right, now it's just you and me, Scott.
And I'm still echoing probably.
And you're
Yep.
echoing? Yep. Okay,
Yep.
so let me change my connections. Check, check. 1, 2. Speak for me, please.
Check 1, 2, 1. Yep. Echo.
How's that?
Still echoing.
How's that?
Probably still echoing. Nope, we're good.
Okay, so that's fixed. Great. No echo on you, right?
No. Let me turn them down again because it keeps getting turned back up.
Okay. And you don't hear ads or anything either, right?
I do hear ads, but I always
But
do.
that's for you.
Yep, and I just turned it down, so we're good now.
Okay. So that should be good. Here, speak for me again.
Check 1, 2.
Huh. You're not on the right panel for me.
Should be going back to 1. Does it matter?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, speak for me again.
Holy loud. All right, how's that going?
It's weird because you're not coming through the board. You're coming through on Skype. You should be coming through on network. I've got this board here, and it sits next to me, and normally the sound bounces up and down on tracks 11 and 12, which is network. Now they're bouncing on 7 and 8, which is Skype. Why are you coming through on Skype? So
I don't even have Skype.
I know, no, you're not coming through on the program Skype. You're coming through on my board that is labeled Skype. That's the Skype line.
Gotcha.
So why options capture? Let me try this. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Are you hearing echo?
Nope.
Echo
Nope.
on you? No.
Nope.
No. Okay, good. Now let's try and connect with Dio. Wait. Let me mute you. Speak for me, please.
you talking to me or are you talking to him?
Damn, that's still the same line. All right.
Son of a bitch.
This is really tough because we're about to take a call from
Let's
this
see.
guy. I got to do another hour of the show. That I can't get all the hosts hearing each other. It's a real problem.
Are you guys good? I mean, can those guys hear you or?
Yes, they can.
Am-
Yeah. Dio can. Only one host at a time can hear me, unfortunately. But I want to get all of us hearing each other like we normally do. So I'm going to keep working on it. Let me see what I got. Oh, I know. Maybe it's this. Let's see. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Do you hear echo?
Nope, no echo.
Okay. Check, check. 1 2 1 2.
Nope, still good.
No echo.
Oh, fuck.
It's back. It's back. The echo is back. Okay,
That is correct.
All right. All right. Play back.
My echo's back.
Yeah, for you, not for me.
Yeah.
Right? Check, check, check. How about now?
Check 1 2, and we are good to go.
No more echo on you.
No echo.
Okay, let me mute you and keep talking. Talk for me.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, I have now pushed your voice over to track 12 successfully. You are now on track 12 and you are not hearing echo. Now let me move Dio onto track 8 here. Let's see Dio. Dial him up. Boop, 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 boop. Hi,
Hello.
Dio.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear
What's
me?
up, Dio?
Yeah, I got you both now.
Yeah,
There you go.
sweet. All right, just took some clicking around.
Cool.
So, all right, we got this all figured out. Now I've got you, Scott, and we're going to soon have a caller, Alejandro, right?
Yeah, I told him 11:30, but I can try to Facebook message him and see if he can call now.
Oh, you told him 11:30. We could go to another topic. We got plenty of stories, man.
Either that or whatever. You want me to Facebook message him? I'll call. I'll try to get him.
No, it doesn't matter. We'll do news stories.
bring 'em
You
in.
said
Okay.
11:30. Just keep it 11:30.
Okay. All right. If you wanted one news story you might want to take care of is the fact that the Ferguson and Beaver Creek police chiefs both resigned.
Wow, that is a
Did
big
it
story.
really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah. I don't know what else. The reason why I'm saying is because I don't like I'm not familiar with too many other stories, and I don't want to get Derek put you in a position where you're talking about something you're the only one you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
It ain't no thing. I got 4 stories that I really want to share with you, with the audience
Oh, really?
tonight.
What are they?
Antonio Bueller.
I was just
Okay.
gonna say that's one, dude.
Yeah, that. I mean, I don't like the guy, but that's
Hey,
that's
careful
huge.
what you say. We're still recording. Man
Yeah.
with camera arrested, which is like classic example. Serpico wrote a report recently. You know, the old cop from the 70s saying
Yes.
police are still out of control.
Frank Serpico.
And
Great.
I only saw the headline on that. I didn't read the story on that.
I read it. And finally, school police officer stops women to lick their
That
feet
is
and
fucking
take
weird.
their
Didn't even
panties.
see that one.
Weird. So weird.
Weird stories. So we got,
Some weird shit. But
and he's
man,
not even allowed to pull people over. He's a school cop.
I know he's like
he
a
was
school
just-
resource
He was
officer.
just faking it.
Dick.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No, that Antonio Bueller story is huge, though. I mean, the fact of all the shit that's going on in that trial, that says a lot to
Yeah.
me.
I understand what you're saying. I think he's too combative, but to each their own.
Well, he and I had a little thing back in the day.
Yeah. Was it an online thing?
And we're back.
Definitely.
Then it wasn't.
This is CopBlock Radio. We are live. It's the top of the second hour here this Wednesday, October 29th, 2014. Antonio Bueller, not guilty This is exciting news. I read it from thelibertybeat.com.
They actually got the verdict out now?
Verdict
They
is
did.
out, not guilty.
Nice.
Yep, all 5 jurors. Why was it 5 jurors? They decided not
One
guilty.
was dismissed, ain't it?
It was
Ah,
5? I didn't catch up. Oh, it was a 5-person. 5 hours of deliberation, 5 people. Wonder why that is.
it is very curious
The
indeed.
last-
TheLibertyBeat.com has the scoop. Reading from Antonio Bueller found not guilty, written by John Bush. He writes, after 25 hours of proceedings and over 5 hours of deliberation, the 5-person jury has reached a verdict, not guilty. And then he's got the full story there at thelibertybeat.com. Unfortunately, it's just not loading for me at the moment, so I don't know what else I can do. There are mainstream news articles reporting on it, but I don't want to read from them.
No,
Right.
that's great though that he got not guilty, because that was, now he can get back to cop blocking. I mean, that was the last I heard. He had a juror dismissed. I think that's why it was a 5-person jury.
Any comments, Scott? Well, if we don't
I
have
think that
the
there was a video that was
Number 4 over the
like
scene
kind
of a
of
chase
damning.
that ended in Coral Springs. This was on the
oh man, I hate it when news sites just start playing stuff that you didn't ask for,
I
because
was
that's
like,
exactly what happened.
Yeah. So there
well-
was a video that was
Antonio
of-
Bueller's arrest?
Yes. And I think that it was pretty much like where they were saying, like, the cop made the shit up. So I think it was, I don't know. I saw a video and of course I didn't say the damn thing, but I think that there was a video that was posted out there and it was dash cam footage.
Right. Well, that is an exciting development. We'd love to see activists found not guilty in court. Good on the jury. We'll have to move along because we got a bunch of other stories, and we'll have to just link to the Liberty Beat article once we find the one that's got the full story written out. I don't understand why the one on the front page has no story link to it, but I'm sure that's just a temporary error. Next, we've got...
Oh, man, hold on.
What?
So there was I'm just like cruising down through here. This is some of the questions that the jurors were asking. Just to go back, there was 2 questions. The one was, is speech alone interference? They're asking this of the judge. And then, what are limits of free speech?
Wow.
At least they came to the right decision. Okay, I'm done.
So Serpico is an ex-cop who I only know from the 70s movie with Al Pacino, where he was trying to be a good cop. And this is a problem because the police outfits around the world are predicated on the idea that they basically own you and they can tell you what to do at any time. So it's not really the type of organization where you can get justice because it violates justice in order to operate. So Serpico found this out in the 70s and was nearly killed, left to die by his fellow officers, suffered a bullet shot wound to the head, and
In the face.
it's unlikely that he would have lived, but fortunately for him, he did. And today he's still a pariah. He wrote an article for, I believe, Politico.com magazine article titled, "Police Are Still Out of Control. I Should Know," by Frank Serpico. And I just wanted to read an excerpt that I think is particularly poignant, just from the end of the article here. He notes that many, law enforcement agencies need to eliminate those who use and abuse the power of the law as they see fit. As I said in the Knapp Commission 43 years ago, we must create an atmosphere where the crooked cop fears the honest cop and not the other way around. An honest cop should be able to speak out against unjust or illegal behavior by fellow officers without fear of ridicule or reprisals. Those that speak out should be rewarded and respected by their superiors, not punished. We're not there yet. I just thought that was, he hits the nail on the head. Yeah, it's about accountability. It's about people having consequences for their actions.
Well, he didn't go blind in the last, 40 years. He's been still, the things have been the same for the last 40 years, and he's been seeing it for the last 40 years firsthand. So, I mean, the guy's got his finger on the pulse, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I just am so moved that there would be an individual who he's in his late 70s now, still cares passionately about these issues enough to write about them, read and think about them on a regular basis. He says, even today, I love police life. I love the work. This was part of his life. It's just he's not welcome in an unjust organization because he's a just man. So, what do you think about this idea of good cops, or this myth that it's just a few bad apples? Because the case of Serpico would seem to indicate that it's not just a few bad apples; that it's something systematic about the organization that protects criminals and lets them rise through the ranks, while the honest cops get kicked to the curb.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, when you talk about good cops, Frank Serpico is one of the top names that comes to my mind when you talk about good cops, because he basically just he spent his entire career fighting against the injustices within the system, and while also trying to be on the streets and keep the streets safe as well, and just you would think that somebody would get some credit for that, but not in their organization. That they don't do it that way.
Well, he's got some suggestions for us that he leaves at the end of the article that he's got numbered 1 to 6, and I want to see what you think about these. 1, strengthen the selection process and psychological screening process for police recruits. What do you think about that idea?
I think it would help keep a lot of people alive, and I think that it would help stop putting cops in danger. It would be for their own good. They hire these people that are unqualified or not just plain not smart enough to perform the job. I think that would be for their own damn good if they would actually start hiring people that they should, instead of people, the warm body syndrome almost, like, well, this guy can shoot a gun straight and he can fill out paperwork, so let's put that guy on the job.
Suggestion number. Go ahead.
There's also the connection part of it too, Scott. Like he's a legacy. His father was a cop, his grandfather was a cop. You know what I mean? Like they're talking about the Beaver Creek shooter, that Sean Williams is actually the reason why he is still a cop, even before he shot John Crawford, was because of his father's or whatever connections to, I think it was Baltimore police, if I'm not mistaken.
The next suggestion by Serpico is to provide ongoing examples-based training and simulations, not only telling but showing police officers how they are expected to behave and react. What do you think about that?
Scott?
They're trying to say they want them to. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by it. It almost seems like they're trying to train them to be better robots.
Well, everyone benefits, I would say, generally from being shown how to do something rather than being simply told. So I think he's simply suggesting that cops are shown how they're expected to behave,
right,
and react. So number 3, require community involvement from police officers so they know the districts and the individuals they are policing. This will encourage empathy and understanding. Well, that's what Serpico speculates. You agree?
Yes, I do. I do, absolutely, especially because when they, if they live in the communities that they're policing, then that goes even further to ingrain them in to the community, so that they're not just outsiders and just they look at it as an us and them thing. It makes them more part of it,
Yep, we've got a little bit of that going on here in Keene. We've got the next 3 examples from Serpico of how to change policing.
If you want to move to the free state and you're looking for some real estate.
All right, rock
This is
on.
working out good for something I didn't think I was going to be able to have anything to say about.
Nice. Good. I'll be back in 4 minutes. I'm going to keep the ads on.
All right, bro.
Mark Warden is the guy for you.
Scott?
PorcupineRealestate.com.
You can hear me, right?
Tyrants
Yeah,
have
we're
taken aim at personal
I don't like
liberties.
talking over the ads. I
Now
can't
there's
really
a movie
understand
that pays
sometimes.
back.
But
The government has no more
I
right
don't
to
know
tell
how
us
to
what to
do
put
it,
in our
but
bodies
maybe
than they have to
figure out
take
a
our
way to
guns or
use
tell us
it
what
that we
books
don't
we
step
can
on
read.
each other so much.
You were cutting out there. What were you saying?
Oh, look at you! Can mute the fucking ads. Why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Yeah. Well, you see, you probably can't do it on yours like on mine. I just turned that volume down, but you're Skyped in.
Yeah, I'm just calling from Skype. I don't have how to even do the whole hook it into the computer or whatnot. So,
Derek knows how to do all that shit.
yeah, no, but I was just saying, like, we got to figure out some, even between Derek too, all of us, we got to figure out some way to not step on each other, where we could cue each other, where we want to, when you want to say something or whatever. I don't know how to do it, but we got to maybe try to figure out. Huh?
Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty decent connection. Are you like on your Wi-Fi or something?
Yeah, I connect the Wi-Fi for the show when I do this.
That's pretty decent.
And even
connection.
sometimes still doesn't even help, because like sometimes I'll lose, like I'll miss like a sentence of a conversation.
I'm back.
Oh, hey there.
Smoking
We were
pot.
just talking about, Scott muted the ads, and we were just talking about how.
I didn't mute anything.
Oh.
I muted the ads on my end, but they've been that way.
I muted them on my end too.
There you go.
Okay. Well,
See,
we were
Derek
just
keeps
talking
that
about
shit
having a
under.
better.
He's
Yeah,
got
we
it
were
under
just
control.
talking about a better way to try to cue each other so we don't step on each other so much.
That is okay with me, honestly. It sounds.
How are we gonna do?
No. I mean, stepping on each other a little bit is okay.
Oh,
it's
okay.
listenable. I would rather have two people talking over each other for a full sentence than 2 seconds of dead air.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? People can usually process more than one voice at once.
Yeah.
And and they're especially used to people talking over each other, happening in conversation all the time. But what I won't stand is dead air. Oh, it kills me to hear that silence. It just hanging there. And I've been practicing just letting it happen, just letting it be, because you got to pick it up. Like that's the only way you learn.
I mean, I'll back off more times than not. So
yeah. Well, I would encourage you and Scott to jump in more, to cut me off, to just jump right on.
But you're so fucking good at it.
Thanks, man. But I'm just.
You get on a roll and you start talking nice, and I don't even know what the hell to say. I have no response.
Oh, all right. Well, try and get something ready. Be thinking of something to bump in with, because sometimes when I'm rocking and rolling, I'm running out of steam, and I'm trying not to let the audience know it, but I need a break.
I'm trying. We got to get the cues worked out a little better.
Yeah. Maybe I should have a lingo, some
secret code.
Yeah, some secret code or something.
Like shrubbery.
Or I'll call them Leos. Anytime I mention Leos instead of police officers or something
that sounds good.
I'll be
that
throwing
sounds
it to
really
Leo.
good.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got 5 seconds.
All right, Leo.
On any phone, anytime. 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
CopBlock Radio. We want to hear from you. It's 413-418-COPS or
We want to
Skype.
hear from all of you.
Yeah. CopBlock Radio. So it's Dio, Derek J, and Scott here with you tonight, rocking and rolling. We're sharing a story from Politico.com from Serpico, the Serpico from, the 70s movie.
Not just the movie.
Al Pacino?
Yeah, it's Al Pacino. And he's got some suggestions for how to turn policing around. We've gone through recommendations 1, 2, and 3. Strengthen the selection process in psych exams. 2, ongoing examples-based training. 3, require community involvement. 4, enforce the laws against everyone.
Hey, what a novel idea.
Yeah, including police officers.
That's a novel concept.
When police officers do wrong, use those individuals as examples of what not to do so that others know this behavior will not be tolerated. And tell the police unions and detective endowment associations they need to keep their noses out of the justice system. It's a good recommendation.
They should not be unionized, period.
Again, the legacy
problem.
thing also comes into play too.
I'd like to see, I mean, these are great suggestions by Serpico, but I'd like to see how he's going to make that happen. Tell the police unions to keep their nose out of the justice system. Oh yeah, you just tell them, right? And then they'll just do it. Forget about it. Number 5, support the good guys. Honest cops who tell the truth and behave in exemplary fashion should be honored, promoted, and held up as a strong, positive example of what it means to be a cop. I agree with that. And Pete Eyre has done a good job of putting his money where his mouth is in that regard by supporting the good guys. Didn't he put up a $5,000 cash reward?
100.
It was a $500 reward?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, he's putting his money where his mouth is, saying, here's some money for doing a good thing that you're supposed to do anyway, holding the police accountable, arresting them if they commit a crime. I think it was a felony, right? If you arrest another cop for committing a felony, you get $500 cash.
Yeah, there's but I mean, even the CopBlock.org website. So
Yeah.
you know, he really does put his money where his mouth is where I was going.
I'd like to see, like, you know, we had one caller from, I think it was North Carolina, about a month and a half ago that, you know, said he was retired. I'd like to know what I'd like to have more of them call in and say, hey, you know, we're actually, you know, we've been to the page or this or that. Just like validate it, you know what I mean? Like make you feel good about, hey, you know, this is actually making a difference, because man, it's discouraging.
Well, there was an interesting discussion I took part in today because, as you know, I don't know if you know, but the Beaver Creek, Ohio, and Ferguson, Missouri police chiefs have both retired now as a result of all the things going on in those two towns. And the conversation that I had today was about the fact that, is it a good thing that he retired because, you know, is he just like stepping off, or does it speak to his integrity, the fact that he knew there was nothing he could do as a loner in that corrupt department, so he stepped off so he could go get hired in a department that's maybe not so corrupt?
Well, that tells us a lot about the police then. We're joined by a caller, Liberty Phoenix. You're on CopBlock Radio.
Hey guys, that's kind of off topic, my question, but
oh my god, this guy.
Thanks for calling, man.
Frequent caller of LRN.FM programming.
That's my Pork Fest tour guide, man. Are you kidding me?
Excellent.
Well, you know, my question tonight is it's a little bit off topic from Serpico, but with all of the recent extreme measures that these cops have been doing, because I swear I think they're getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, I just saw a story about a cop that shot another cop. How do you guys deal with the anger? Because I literally just am filled with rage every single time.
I go out and film some more cops.
How do you deal with the anger, Liberty Phoenix?
I just kind of bury it. I mean, I try to just ignore the anger, because I know that if I'm in a situation where I'm confronting a police officer, and I've yet to be in a situation where they've been outright authoritarian. The police officers around me are relatively well behaved. They only steal from people and cage them. They don't beat the living crap out of them. At least none of the encounters that I've filmed have. But how have you guys dealt with the anger and avoided just going ape shit on these cops and beating the crap out of one of them? I mean,
whoa, because that's not in my nature. I don't know about you, but when I get frustrated or upset or angry, I don't want to beat anybody up. But you know, the one way to deal with it is to take a deep breath. You know, there's regular methods of calming yourself down, dealing with anger the way you would with anything, counting down from 10, and trying to find some humanity in these people. You know, if you can, get away from them. Don't talk to police. Go away from the police. Avoid any confrontations or any conversations with them, unless you're doing some cop blocking and you want to film them. I still wouldn't recommend having a conversation with them. But if you can avoid it, then just find some humanity.
I think what my man's talking about here, though, is like, it's almost, especially we run in the circles where we hear about it every day, no matter what we do, whether we're outside, inside, whether, we don't have to go out and try to film cops to hear bad stories about shit that's going on, because we see it every day. We expose ourselves to it every day on a purposeful basis. So like the anger that you feel when you see the shit on the film, like I said with Alejandro's video, I actually felt like I was going through that with him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
just finished.
I think that's the kind of anger that my man Ken here is talking about.
Definitely.
Hey, I got some advice for us.
The dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads.
Important reminder. I think any other thoughts that you want to share with us tonight, Liberty Phoenix?
That's about it. I mean, also
did we pick up Yoda?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a galaxy far, far away.
Is he co-hosting now?
Yeah, we got Yoda. We got Yoda on drop.
How's it going, Yoda?
Oh, we're getting another special call.
Yes, this might be Alejandro.
See if we can answer that. Yeah, good night, Liberty.
Night, guys.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
All right, we're going to pick this up on a new line. We've not used this line before. So caller from the 760 area code, you are on CopBlock Radio. Can you hear us? We're connected. No, we're not yet connected. We'll try and get that worked out on the side of the screen. In the meantime, we've got stories coming up for you. We've got video to show of a man. What's this video got, Dio? What are we going to see when we watch this video?
Alejandro's video?
Yep.
Yeah, he basically was staring down the barrel of a policeman's gun and basically told him to put his goddamn gun down because he wasn't doing anything wrong.
Powerful video. On the other side of this break, we'll be right back. This is CopBlock Radio. You can call in 413-418-COPS or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio.
I've been told no in many different ways.
Okay, let's see. It says it's still answering. It says answering. I'm going to hang up from him and see if maybe we'll try again.
Fuck, Serpico? That's all I can think of.
That was a good segment. A really good segment.
Yeah.
Fuck, Serpico.
Fuck Serpico. What do you mean?
No, Jay and Silent Bob, they say, "What the fuck, Serpico?"
When did they say that? In what movie?
It was either in Jay and
Mallrats?
Silent Bob. No,
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
I think it was in
Dogma?
No, it was in Jay and Silent Silent Bob Strike Back in the very beginning.
I forget the scene.
We should say here. I'm
The
gonna
one-
YouTube that fucker to you.
Opening scene like, fuck, motherfuck. Great
There,
movie.
Get on.
Okay. See, I'm answering this call.
What are these little pieces of paper for?
You're over my head. And
Damn, no shit stains in my undies.
I don't get into Jay and Silent Bob.
It's a lot of dick and fart humor.
It's a dick and fart humor.
I know.
wish I could-
There's only so much of that I can listen to.
Man, I don't know
Derek
why
the
it's dropping the call.
Is that Alejandro you got there?
So I don't know his phone number. It tells me his phone number.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah, I don't
760
know his phone
area
number
code.
either. He says he called 3 times. Hold on, I'm gonna tell him to call again.
Can you tell him to Skype in?
Tell him to knock
He,
it off.
I told him he doesn't. I don't think he has it, or he doesn't want to do it, or something like that.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Hey, a lot of people think there's spyware in Skype and stuff like that. They don't want to do it because of that.
The government might find out that we're on the air.
Live.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Let's see if this works. We're trying it a third time. Sometimes it just takes doing it again.
Yeah, I know.
It says answering, but I'm not having it. Nope. Got disconnected.
I told him keep calling. I told him keep calling.
Why keep calling? Obviously, it's not working. I need to figure out something else.
Yeah, like try.
Let me try telling
something that works.
Yeah, tell them Skype.
Tell them join the 20th century or 21st century.
Actually, a lot of people don't want to use Skype. Scott, I get a lot of guests on Peace News, and they don't want to do
Skype
it.
in.
I try and get people on Google Hangouts. Forget about it. I mean, that's video, audio. You got to download something. You have to, it's like there's a lot of steps involved. So I don't know, but it's really useful. It's really helpful.
Way too complicated.
You know, the little steps you can take to increase your, like if you got an important message to get out to the world, you want to have good audio because people want to listen to it. If it has crap audio,
by the same token, Derek, if we're not going to use the fucking phone number, then we should get rid of it.
Well, we can't get anyone. We can't get it on.
The phone number is the problem.
Well, the phone is crappy. Phone sucks.
Yeah, the audio's not really good.
I should just tell people just Skype in. All right, I'm gonna get this video ready to play. Will you send me a link or something, or tell me what I should Google?
Shoo, you should just be able to go right to the CopBlock Facebook page. It should be right on top.
All right, cool, I got it.
Forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
Hey Scott, lead us in.
Yeah, you do it.
Lead us in, DJ.
Okay. We have Alejandro video. Basically, like I said before, he was basically staring down the barrel of a policeman's gun. They rolled up on him. They immediately got out of the cars pointing guns at him. He was just standing there. He refused to get on the ground when they told him to get on the ground. He basically told them, "Put your goddamn guns away. I ain't doing nothing wrong, and I'm not getting on the ground." So,
all right, take a listen. Wow. Here it is, the shocking video that now has almost 250,000 views. Was posted just 2 days ago to the YouTube channel Savvy Fide. Take a listen.
Get on the floor. Lay down on the floor. Get down on the floor. I'm scared. Please, I'm scared. Don't get on the ground. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Get on the ground. I am on the ground. You too. Get on the ground.
I didn't do anything.
Get on the ground.
I didn't do anything.
I know. Get on the ground until I figure it out.
I'm right here. I'm away. I'm right here. I'm on. Why you gotta point a gun at me?
Get all the way down.
Why you gotta point a gun at me? We have no weapons.
Down on the ground.
We have no weapons. We have no weapons. We're not a threat to you. Why do you have the gun pointed at me? I am not a threat. I got out of the car. I surrendered to you. Right here, and you're pointing a gun at me. You're pointing a gun at me. No, you're pointing a gun at me.
I am. Get on the ground.
Are you going to shoot me? I'm not going to run away. I am not a threat to you. I am not a threat to you. I am not a threat to you. Am I walking towards you? No, I am standing right here, scared as hell. I am scared right now. I am afraid of my life. I am not going to get on my ground. I know my rights. You got a gun pointed at me. I have not committed a crime. No, I will not. I will stay here, and I will not interfere with whatever you got to do. No, I refuse to. This is not a police state, man. It's America, dude. I hate to get all like that, man. But I'm not causing a problem. I realize what just happened right now. Yeah, it was a violation of the law. But it doesn't require for you to pull out a gun. It's not a threat. At least you can use your sense. Come on. It's one man talking to another man. Eliminate the gun or the badge. You're a man. You're a man. You're a man behind the badge. Be like a man. That's a coward pointing a gun at me. I am standing right here, defenseless. I am not doing anything, deputy. I am not going to do anything. There's no reason why I have 2 guns pointed at me. There is none. I am not doing anything. I am a law-abiding citizen. I served in the United States Army. Okay, I am scared for my freaking life right now. I got 2 guns pointed at me. I got 2 guns pointed at me for nothing. I am standing right here. This is a violation of my rights. Okay? A violation of my rights. And Lord rebuke you. Lord rebuke you for giving you that power and you abusing it. The Lord rebuke both of you. I have done nothing wrong, and I understand you're backing your buddy up, because I would too. But there is no reason why a gun should be pointed at me. I am not a threat to you. I am shaking. You're about to cry to you. I'm just crying to you right now. That's all I'm doing. I am not doing anything. I am crying, and you got 2 guns pointed at me. I am freaking scared. I have another car. There's no reason. There's no reason. No reason for this. No, I am not gonna walk this way. Hey, put the guns down, and I'll cooperate. I have not committed a crime. I have yet to commit a crime. I haven't committed a crime. I have no weapon. There is no reason to pull anything on me. None. I am not a threat.
Wow, powerful video from Alejandro Natividad. Looking forward to speaking with him. We're having some connection difficulties, but he is trying to connect in on through the Skype line as well as his Dio. So, Scott, your reactions to this video?
I think one of the, I've heard it played through this, a few times now. And I think that one of the big things that he hopefully helps to start make other people understand. He talks about how he was in the military. I was in the Army. You know what? If the Army, if other troops or soldiers coming back were actually defending what they said they were doing, they wouldn't be overseas. They would be here.
And I believe we are joined now on the line by Alejandro. Are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Excellent. Well, we just watched the video of you bravely holding a video camera and refusing to submit to another human being holding a gun pointed at you. What was going through your head?
I'm gonna die. Lots of things. Maintain your, don't.
We're having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but it sounds like you're saying you were afraid for your life, that you were going to die. Some of the same things that you were saying on the video that you were explaining to the officer. You were in fear for your life. Now, what point things? So what was going on before you decided to, looks like we might have lost his connection. Sounds like he did sort of have a bad connection, so we'll wait for him to call back in. But that's what's on my mind is, when did he decide to take out video? Oh, there you are. So when did you decide to start rolling and recording?
Say again?
When did you decide
What
to?
was that? I decided to, when my buddy took off, and I'm just like, what are you doing? You just started a, for lack of a better word, a shitstorm. I know what's going on. And so he goes to park the car, and before he parks, I jump out, and I don't see the cop behind us. And then the cop pulls up, and he comes out, he draws his gun. And I thought that was kind of out of line. I don't know. I mean, I'm in fear for my life. You see everything going on with cops and stuff. I'm not demonizing all law enforcement, but I really just had the phone in my hand and someone told me just record, and I hesitated a little bit. But once I saw the gun, that's when I decided to record, because if I was gonna die, I'm gonna have like some proof or something. I don't know.
Well, it's very brave of you. I view your actions as heroic, especially the fact that you recorded the interaction and refused to submit politely and calmly. That it was completely heroic in this situation. Have you gotten a lot of support?
Yes. I mean, I've gotten a lot of people messaging me saying the same thing, that it's very heroic and that there needs to be more people like me. And, it's just, I was put in a situation and it was fight or flight, and I was given a choice, and at that moment, that's the choice I thought was best to make.
Was your camera a defensive weapon in this situation, Alejandro? In other words, do you think you may have been harmed by the police officer if you didn't have the video camera?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not no psychologist or anything, but I know body. I mean, I could see body language, and they wanted to. They were itching for it. I could see it in their eyes, and they were fueled by like anger, and I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not saying, but from my point of view, from my perspective, I think it would have gone south. And I probably wouldn't be talking to you guys, or I'd be severely beaten or something. I don't know, or cuffed and in jail. I don't know.
I'm not aware of any footage that exists of a man holding a video camera while being shot by police. You would be the first instance that I'd ever heard of, and I believe it is a defensive weapon. You used it well. Do you have more time? I'll have more questions.
I got a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We want to hang through across the break. We've got Alejandro Natividad on the line. He's the heroic man in the video, standing up to cops pointing guns at him. This is CopBlock Radio.
Shiny badges on your jacket. Shiny badges.
This is Davi.
Thank you very much, Alejandro. I really appreciate your time tonight. We've got a 4-minute break. Are you able to hold on for another few minutes?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I appreciate it. You sound good. Thanks for connecting over Skype.
No worries.
We have 2 other co-hosts on tonight, Scott and Dio.
Scott and Dio.
Man, thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's good to talk to you after everything that you've been through. We're glad that you're still here with us, that you can.
Right. Hang on. By the CHP off Jefferson, just go straight down this road. I'm being interviewed right now on through Skype. So I don't know if my phone, I don't know the signal. So I'm kind of like trying not to move around. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah,
we've got no interruptions.
Okay.
It sounds great.
Got it. No worries. I can sit anywhere. I could fit. I tight space.
Oh man.
No, I'm sorry. I got a church, and
Okay.
it ended right when so I'm sorry about that.
It's quite all right.
Oh, I can't.
We're not saying anything.
hear
It's
me?
yep, like we can hear you. We're just not.
Familiar with Skype or anything.
It's okay. Here, I'll put some ads on so you know that we're not on.
FM. That's cam.lrn.fm.
For your entertainment.
Ross Ulbricht was arrested by the FBI in 2013 and charged with victimless crimes in relation to allegedly operating the Bitcoin-based Silk Road black market. He has been in a prison cell awaiting trial ever since. If he did it, he's a hero for making the black market a safer place. If he did not, he's a man wrongfully accused. Either way, if you love freedom and want to end the war on drugs, Ross and his family need your support. You can learn more and help fund his defense at
Cassandra, the girl that was
That's
supposed to be on tonight, that is going to be on next week,
The 3 most
just
important
posted a
things you
picture.
can do
Like,
for
everybody has
LRN.FM are,
those stickers
1,
that say
let
I
your friends
voted.
know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social
It says, I
networking
continue
profile.
to cycle with
2,
my own
buy the
oppression
things you
today.
buy
I need to
online
get a
or
couple of
shop at
those.
LRN.FM.
That's
3,
cute. I saw a good one.
$5 a month.
I saw a good.
Program.lrn.
I saw a good one today that said, I voted for a longer leash and a bigger cage. I voted for a longer leash but got a smaller cage. And said, I'll vote again next year. We got another minute.
No worries.
Cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. It's true. If you're receiving a structured settlement or pension payment spread out over time and you want a lump sum amount immediately, then you need to call now.
A teenage couple posed with their guns for their homecoming picture and posted on Facebook.
Yeah, Tito Velez.
What's that?
Tito Velez, that's his name. The kid is awesome.
That kid's a badass.
Yeah.
They aren't even real guns. They're like
No.
airsofts.
Yeah.
School officials then saw the photo and suspended the teens, claiming the photo may have scared other students because they're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yep.
I'm sorry that your picture scared me.
Here we go.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to the final segment of CopBlock Radio. Still time for your thoughts and calls if you make them quickly. Our number is 413-418-COPS. And we're speaking with Alejandro Natividad, who refused to lay down on the ground when he was committing no crime. He also heroically recorded that video and was able to maintain composure. Just amazingly. I don't understand what sort of background. We're going to get into some more questions in this segment. What's your background, Alejandro, that you're able to handle such a high-pressure situation so calmly? Most people, like your friend there, will just get on the ground, follow an order. If a man's pointing a gun at you, you do what he says, right?
Well, I was in the army. It abruptly ended. I did a tour. I've grown up. I grew up. In a rough neighborhood. I've been around of just a bunch of stuff. And I'm quite frankly, honestly, it was. I don't see it training. It's just you make a choice. You either you face. I fight as well. I don't want to really broadcast that, but you just.
But you know how to defend yourself, and you've got a special reaction to a threat that might not be the typical response of your average person. I get that. Yep.
What?
What about your experience with police? I've been arrested 5 times, and it's always unpleasant dealing with police. Whenever I see them, I feel threatened, like I need to take out my video camera and protect myself, because unfortunately, I hear about a lot of stories of police abusing their authority. And I want to make sure that if that ever happens around me, that I capture it on camera, keep an objective record. What about you? What's your history like with police, maybe video recording or interactions?
I've never recorded. That's my first time ever. This is the first time I've ever done that. But I've been harassed by cops, like racially profiled. I'm walking down the street and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm nothing. I'm on my way to cash a check." And I'm walking. "No, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "No, I haven't committed a crime." And with some cops, I know they're trying to develop a rapport with the community, and some of them have come and like, "What's up?" and we talk, and we shoot the stuff. And others, I'm always in fear of them. Like, I don't know. I have this, I don't know, this gut-wrenching feeling every time I see one. And they're always there. And unfortunately for me, I didn't realize it, but a spider web tattoo on my elbow. And, this is how much of I'm not a troublemaker. That means that you've done time in prison.
Yeah.
And so they see that, and automatically they judge, and because that's the first thing they always ask. "Have you ever done time?" I'm like, "Is it because of the tattoo?" And they're like, "Yeah, no." And so, I've been harassed for, not to any degree like that, but at one time when I did get a DUI, they whooped my ass in the drunk tank, and I couldn't say anything.
one of the guys was like, if like, I beat you some more or whatever. I'm like, well, let's do this. So, I mean, I've experienced that type of abuse, but it's not nothing. I don't know. I've never really. This is all new to me. Standing up and whatnot. I just, from watching everything and what you see everywhere, I was protecting myself. I'm not trying to defame or demonize law enforcement. For me, I was thinking of me.
Yeah. I don't
really
run
care about
on your first at bat. You did an amazing job of recording, and it's clear that you did have some sort of history with the police. Your average, I guess, old lady who never gets stopped or harassed. She doesn't know that the police could point guns and stuff, and they probably wouldn't at her. But like you said, they racially profile. They get hot-headed. They think that they've got a real criminal on their hands. And you had a real heart-to-heart moment. Do you think you were able to reach and peer into some humanity in the police officer you were speaking with?
I believe so. I mean, I got to understand his perspective. My buddy just bolted out. He comes in, the interview, you guys read the articles or whatever. My friend was twitching and he called the paramedic. He goes to turn off the car and then my buddy punches it. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? That's not right. So I understand the cop situation. And yeah, I mean, because what you don't see in the video is the second officer puts his gun away and pulls out a taser, while the first guy goes to check up on my friend and like cuff him or whatnot. And they come and like, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, I have not committed a crime. No. And once he said, I'm going to tase you, I'm like, all right, I don't want to feel that. I've been, so I let him cuff me, but I did not, get down on the ground. They didn't put me down. They just cuffed me and put me in the back of the squad car. And they kind of antagonized me a little bit, but it's typical. And afterwards, after the whole incident, the cop was real cordial. And, he was telling me like, you were being passive resistant. And I could win for this and that and whatnot. And I'm just like, hey, dude, you know what? Just like you, I was reacting. So, you could have de-escalated the situation because I was already panicking. And it's your, you could have like, you could have calmed it down a little bit. You didn't have to get that far. You didn't need to pull the gun out. It was, and once I showed you I'm not a threat, and I said it, and I know you don't know what's going on, but I'm shaking, I'm crying to you, I'm showing signs like I'm not, but the situation could have been handled way differently.
Well, it's a powerful clip, and I appreciate your bravery. I hope that you carry a video camera with you at all times. Was that your cell phone?
Yeah, that was my cell phone. I mean, it was in my hand, and like a lot of people were saying, like he had time to pull it out. No, it was in my hand. If I had pulled it out right when the gun, come on, use your common sense, and then the cop would have really like plugged me.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been too late at that point. Were you using a live streaming app, or was it just your regular camera recorder?
It was just my regular. I'm broke. I have a prepaid, and I just used a my regular phone, and I uploaded it on Facebook. Really, and as a I posted it, and I was in such a heat of the moment, but I really posted it to get an input from people to like, was I in the right? Did I do the right thing? You know, and I didn't expect it to spiral out of control like it has. I'm hearing from Fortify it has over 1 million views or something like that. And
whoa!
I'm not expecting. Yeah, or something like I don't know.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm amazed by the reaction, but I'm amazed, even more amazed by the video and your actions and your bravery. Any other thoughts or questions for Alejandro before we move on for our final story of the night?
No, I mean, just, do whatever you can to, spread the word of, what you did, how you were feeling. Let people know how you felt, man. Reach out to everybody you can. I mean, I'm glad that Dia reached out to you and we were able to, have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Are you connected with the local CopBlock chapter? Alejandro, is there a CopBlock organization near you? Any folks affiliated with recording the police who have reached out to you in your local area? We may have lost them for the night, but either way, we appreciate your thoughts and your bravery, Alejandro. Hope to hear from you again soon. Hopefully there's a lawsuit, because you can't just point guns at people and expect there to be no consequences. Final story of the night. Got to make time for this. Oh, but before we do, we got to wrap up the Serpico story. He had 6 suggestions. Support the good guys. And last but not least, police cannot police themselves. What a revelation. Develop permanent, independent boards to review incidents of police corruption and brutality, and then fund them well and support them publicly. Only this can change a culture that has existed since the beginnings of the modern police department. I'm not sure I agree with that, but what I would suggest instead is that instead of police policing themselves, we police the police. That you and I hold video cameras, write blog posts, do our own investigative journalism, and report on the stories of brutality and corruption that are happening across the globe.
Damn Skippy, son.
You're right. So final story, we only, in the remaining seconds, got to read this headline. School cop pulls women over to lick their feet and steal their underwear. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this evening's CopBlock Radio. It's been Derek J. with you.
And Scott.
And Dio.
And we do this every Wednesday night, so catch us next week. And in the meantime, catch us at copblock.org. Remember that badges don't grant extra rights. Peace. Good show, guys.
Yeah, great show.
Rock on.
That's some of the best shit yet.
I agree. Even with all the audio complications.
Yeah. Not hello, but thank you even.
Yeah. Rock on. He was awesome. Well, maybe you can connect with him online somehow.
Yeah.
We'll do this again next week, guys.
Do you know, my audio didn't record last week. I don't know if you got that message or whatever.
Yes.
But you maybe want to try it again.
Yes. I'd be willing to try that again. Yep, absolutely. Let's do it.